Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, August 30th. We are looking at window traders market profile of the ES, N, and Q. So a lot of times people ask me, why do I call K, L, and M the three Stooges? And I'm like, because they're very erratic at times and they distort what the market did for a good part of the day. Well, today couldn't be more evident by what, especially what M period did, as Mo absolutely rips with a price spike in ES. SPY only misses the all-time high by under $1. Look at that. Under $1 they missed it by. They're 96 cents from it. We talked about ranges being good because of the lack of liquidity this week with a lot of vacations. We also talked about the volume being horrible, which it still is. Now, today's volume ended up being decent. No, it didn't. It's 49 million, even with that. And M period did probably about 12 million. So the volume was horrible. We got what we expected today. Now, I did not think the market, once we had lowered value to overlap and a lowered POC, lowered volume POC. Look where our volume POC is. Didn't think we'd get this, but I did look, we spoke. I'm like, I'm not going to be stubborn and do anything stupid. And I didn't. I didn't long it, but I just watched it. And this is what happens, how M period distorts a lot of what the day did, and also is the last day of the month. Also, even though we were trying to push lower early today, the indices were not in the bears' favor. Even on those pushes down, NQ was unchanged. Never really went down. So when they finally got their legs back under them and went back up again and took back the trend day, well, that's all she wrote, and they went back to the highs. Now, we have a lot to do because we're going to do the charts and everything. NQ is officially an inside day. Look at this. They did not take out yesterday's high or low. ES took out yesterday's low by a little bit, yesterday's high by a little bit, but closed inside. So it's not an outside day up. I would treat it as an inside day on Tuesday. Righty is officially an inside day. They just misprobing. So righty is nothing to lean on. NQ, nothing to lean on. They probe, but I'm not using B's high. Did not get far enough away. I won at least 21 points, which is half $1. They didn't go anywhere near that. And they had an 8-wide POC. So I'm not carrying that forward. So technically, the only one carrying anything forward is ES, which is the price probe at B's high, and SPY, as they only ended 7-wide. So being in balance creates such fragile price action by these traders, right? There's no real one-way trading. They just change on a dime. I mean, they change on a dime on trend days sometimes. So in this balance, which is what, 10 days now, it's there's no allegiance to one side. So you have to keep that in mind. We are still in balance. Now, just because we closed at the balance high, look at this. We stretched the balance high on Monday. We missed it on Thursday. And we missed it again today. So we're banging on the door of this balance, right? Look, here was the balance high. Stretched it. Came close. Came closer. Does this mean we're going to gap open higher on Tuesday? Of course not. Why? Because we're dealing with short-term traders. Look at yesterday. Look where we closed yesterday. Look where we opened. But yeah, the market looked so strong to the downside late yesterday. And then we went up. So we might gap higher on Monday, or we might, I shouldn't say gap, on Tuesday. We might open in the upper end and get the balance high. But there's no guarantee of it. I can tell you that. The base of the price probe is going to be very important. The bulls want, in ES, you want to open above that on Tuesday. Now, I will use Monday's shortened session, which I will not be here. When the regular trading hours is closed, to me, everything else is after hours. So Sunday night, Monday to 1 o'clock, and then Monday night before Tuesday's open 9:30 will all be overnight. So if we take this out in any of that time period, you're going to have a monthly high right off the bat in September in the overnight. Our monthly low finishes in the overnight for ES and an NQ. The weekly low this week is in the overnight. So that is, to me, still very much unfinished business. So again, don't just think, okay, don't get biased and say, here we go. The market will tell us if we're going to get out of this balance. And more importantly, if we're going to stay out of it. So I had a really good day. A period, I took a long in NQ. If I could find where NQ opened. Against the overnight high. We opened away from it. Remember when I said if we open near it, I might take the short. But we didn't. We opened, pushed down a little bit. Back above the open, I took the long to get it. Very nice. B period. Took the long to pop the top and to get yesterday's POC. I'm going to beat the drum on this one again. I said yesterday to the room while we were going down late yesterday. I said in last night's video. I said in this morning's video. When you get away from a TPO that's that wide without lowering it, which they couldn't, the odds of going back there are pretty good. Look where we got to. Look at B's high until we took it out in M. That was a beautiful trade for me to get A's high and then the POC. You learn a lot in this room, I can tell you that. And I also was long in B period on ebb and flow, so B period was very nice. C period, things changed. Jumped on the on the short and buried them when they took out the IB low. So my staple trades all worked today. A period to get the overnight, B period to one time frame up, C period to take out the IB low. Then in D period, because we were holding singles, D and E, I was just shorting ebb and flow, just like the tide in and out, because the action was in favor of the sellers. Any push up, I was shorting. Nothing big, mostly one lots, sometimes two, but they were paying anywhere from 7 to 10 points because the tempo was still pretty good. Then my first trade in G period in the afternoon was in G. Missed the break, but then was shorting it on, again, ebb and flow trades. H period. When it came up, took the short against half back. That worked because it backed off beautifully the first time. And then in K period, I actually shorted the single print fill, which also paid me. And that was it. Because even though I said the odds weren't good, I thought earlier to take out the IB high, those odds got better and better as things changed. So I wasn't enticed to take the long, but I certainly stayed away from the short and ended up with a really good week. So as far as destinations, I want to get to these charts. 65 is the high in ES. The price probe is 46. And today's low is 94.25. In SPY, 564.20. That's our monthly high. We made a new monthly high. Okay, ES did not. Price probe, 562.25, and today's low of 557.14. Now let's get to these charts and break down as we head into a new month where this market might be looking to head. Okay? And thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Now, and by the way, SPY and ES ended up on the week. Look at this monthly candle. It's impressive, but it's still balance. So what is the balance in IWM? I would say last month's high is the high of it. Now, you can either use this month's low or you want to go to this one. It depends. That's why it's all subjective. That low is 191.34. This month's low is 196.70. Again, it depends. I'd probably use this low. So that would be a 5-month balance. Now, just because you're near the balance high does not necessarily mean you'll come out of balance to the upside. But that's a nice looking candle on the monthly. We all look like that. So the monthly is a 5-month balance for IWM. The weekly is up, right? The weekly is one time framing up 3 weeks. But the real important level is to take out last month's high. If you take out this level, we haven't seen this, my friends. We put in that high in IWM November 8th, 2021. Closing in on 3 years. Are we going to get it this time? Well, first things first. We got to take out that monthly high I just talked about and also get above this weekly. So the monthly's balance, the weekly is up. The daily is balance. I would use this day as the balance low. Well, actually, I take that back because we had gone up there. I'm using this day. Right, I'm using this day. So I would say it's a 5-day balance. I would use Monday's high and Wednesday's low. Okay? Let's go to NQ and Qs. Monthly. Same thing, balance. What is the monthly balance? Well, last month is a high of it. You can either use this low or this low. This low is, I'm just trying to see, 413.07. That was 420. And this month got down to 423. I'd probably use this month. So I'd say we're in a 4-month balance. Okay? Again, it's subjective. You want to use this month? You can. But it's a nice looking candle. But that doesn't mean we're going to go take out the balance high. Weekly is balance. Remember, and this is where things are going to be a lot different for some people. I never called the weekly up because we never really took out this high. We barely took it out. So when we took out this week's low this week, to me, it's not coming back to balance. It was balance. But if people were calling it up, then they might say they're in a 2-week balance. I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying we're in a 6-week balance. Now, that doesn't mean if we come out to the downside, I'm going to say, well, we have a long way to go, so we're going to hold it. I'm not going to look for shorts. Of course I would. But I'm just looking at it a little differently right now. After next week, we'll see what happens. But for now, it's still balanced. So monthly and weekly are balance, and a daily also balance. Balance upon balance upon balance. Look at this, trading back and forth through the 50-day moving average. And then let's go to the S&P. Monthly candle is going to look very nice. There you go. Now, what's their balance? I would say 3 months. Last month's the high, this month's the low. So that's what I would use as my monthly balance in ES. Weekly is up. Weekly never took out any weekly low. We're one time framing up 3 weeks. The weekly is up. And look at that little hammer on that too. And the daily is, I think, a 10-day balance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 10-day balance. Now, SPY stretched it. They took out the balance high. ES did not. But SPY just slightly stretched it. So I'm still calling it balance. But we'll see on Tuesday if we come out of it. I hope you had a good day, good week, good month trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. I've been posting on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, a series, an interview I did in series of 30 to 45 second clips of that interview. If you haven't had a chance, go check it out, see what we're all about. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy the holiday. and we'll speak prior to the opening on Tuesday.